hackathons, and I know it's probably not the big story, but in Philly at AAA, we are doing a hackathon. Still time to sign up. If you are on the hacker side, not a AAA member, it's free. If you're a AAA member, it's $25. On Saturday, you're all welcome to come join us. It's a civic hackathon.
Excellent. So that's a perfect segue to Deza. Whoa, that was
okay. Great. Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I'm actually on my phone right now. I'm going to switch over to the laptop when the conversation gets started. We'll be joined in a moment by Jonathan Atkin, who's a law professor at Brooklyn Law School, and has been a real terrific collaborator at with MIT, along with, actually in your room, Michael Robach and his team at UMKC Law School. And I think the topic we want to bring up for this planning session is a deeper dive into the question of what about legal hackathons as a possible activity that CALI could get involved with. And a slant on that we're in my program at MIT is online hackathons. So those are two separate, I think. One is just for people that raised their hands, John, when you asked who knows about hackathons, but I imagine some dialogue about what is a hackathon, what's a legal hackathon, and a potential fit with CALI would be appropriate. But I also that we have at least a couple of minutes reserved for the potential of using a system that we're put together here in Media Lab for online hackathons. Basically, this could be kind of picked up about virtual conferences and the role of those. If it could be maybe a way to maintain community across the law schools and the different constituencies that you have here between conferences in a way that allows for teams and collaboration and problem solving, a lot of knowledge transfer. First things first, I suppose, John and I think, Lloyd and Harold are in the room too, and Sally's been very helpful. Maybe you could, I can't read the room very well from my vantage point here. Maybe you could help to facilitate the dialogue. And we could have a conversation about it. I'll just say if people are interested in it, between Jonathan and I don't want to speak for Michael Robach, but he may have something to say. But I believe that we have a small team of people already in technology and law schools who would be willing to help kind of convene or host an initial CALI online legal hackathon if you wanted to go that way. So you don't have to worry too much about budget or how could we even do this. There's some folks that have been doing it right along who would be willing to jump in, but maybe some dialogue about what is it and is there a potential fit here would be appropriate, or really any way that you think was appropriate to take it, John.
Not sure where to start. So I'm going to take it as a question, Daz. Is there a good fit with the hackathon and the culture that I just described and the lore of the CALI conference? And I think the short answer is maybe. Right? This is not a room full of programmers, and I kind of established that there aren't a lot of, I don't want to say hacker types, because I think we are, depending on, for various definitions of what a hacker is, such as those things. But having a track devoted to it that's actually optional, so that it's not a requirement for everybody to participate. I'm doing that for the purposes of people that don't find that interesting or too intimidating.
But many of the legal hackathons the idea, I think this conference could be ideal for it in that you can bring together the programmers and the people who are ready to express a need for what you could do for me in the time of this hackathon that I could take back with me and use.
The very definition of a hackathon.
Yeah. And you've got the customers here, and you can surely bring some. We certainly have several people already who can program. And if you have other programs you don't normally come, and you say, we've got people that you're going to be able to work with, that to me is the ideal collaborative space.
Okay. Okay. Other comments? Nick?
I was just going to say, you make the comment that there's not a lot of full-time programmers here, and whether you're full-time or not, I would think that doing something like Hackathon would actually attract more program-type people to come there.
If they're out there, then they'll find us, right? Gotcha. Matt?
I think that sort of building on this, the problem might potentially have is if you don't have enough coders and you're having a hackathon, you're not having a hackathon. Like,
Well said.
if you say you're going to have a hackathon and you've got me and Nick as the only programmers in the room,
Going down. And that's a hack off. That's not a hackathon.
So I think what you might have to do to make this work, and I think it is, I actually do think it's a fantastic idea, is to sort of look on the periphery of your current community for groups that have more coders involved. And I'm thinking like the open government community, where you could get people from the Sunlight Foundation, or people at the Media Lab, MIT Media Lab, involved in a conference like this, who have a lot more of that coder programming talent.
Let me add 18F to that mix too.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So I'll be the keeper of culture and say, will that culture clash or mesh sufficiently with this culture?
A little bit of both, and I think that's ideal.
Okay.
I've got a question though. I mean, I'm hearing hackathon as if it's this thing kind of rotating in space, not tied to anything else. What will it produce?
I'm going to toss that one to Daz.
Do you hear that, question? Daza?
She's speaking and we're not hearing.
Oh, you're muted. Do you hear that question? What will
Yes.
the hackathon produce?
What's the dilemma?
What's the payoff?
I'll bet you're having trouble tracking this, Daz.
Boom. All right. I'm sorry about that. Juggling computers. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay. So I think the last two questions are very tightly connected. One of the questions, basically, I think they go to the point of, how could a hackathon be sculpted to reflect and support, the culture and the aims of CALI? So one of the things that I'm hoping Lloyd can send the URL to Jonathan soon so we can get on. Jonathan Askin can speak to this a little better than I. But the major thing that I'm excited about with these legal hackathons is that there seems to be a formula where it's possible to compose a hackathon where some of the projects could be not technical at all in a direct sense. So, for example, one of my favorite examples was a privacy-oriented hackathon that we did with Open Knowledge Foundation a few months ago, where many of the teams worked on terms and conditions for privacy, and some teams worked on model statutory language. We had some other projects that were related to marketing practices, but they were basically all narrative documents, and the demos they did were little YouTube videos of them describing the project, and everybody agreed that was a legit team project, and it was really essential as part of a fit, certainly of a technical topic, but it was not itself technical. And I think the main thing with a hackathon, as opposed to a conference or a seminar or what I call like a talkathon, is that you have teams that are collaborating on a project, and the production is some artifact which is the result of the project. So, I think a document is certainly a valid thing in a legal hackathon to produce. If you have technical people, it's always fun if there's working code. But, the law, as Larry Lessig told us, is code. We have legal code for sure. So I guess that's the first thing, is just to expand your sense of what the deliverables could be. But I do think the best hackathons have teams that are making deliverables and working together and producing new ideas and at least roughing them out. I guess the other thing I would say is, just from hearing the way that the dialogue was facilitated this morning, I was trying to listen in, I'm wondering if it wouldn't make sense to have sort of a exploratory hackathon that was with a smaller group of people that are the diehard CALI members that have friendships here, that really look forward to it, that love to participate and get a lot out of it. That was a group of 20 to 30 people. You could actually have a hackathon on the topic of this session, which would be, like teams formed to explore different revenue models or different potential strategies or directions for CALI as part of their membership. I think, I haven't seen a hackathon like that, but in a membership-oriented group of people that really enjoy the topic and where it's a creative, friendly group to start with, I think that could be a very good fit. If there's like 3 or 4 streams that maybe after, upon reflection, that seem like they're ones that you want to explore, having people come up with a project like, well, here's how it could look if we had a certification program. Like, here's a demo of how you could be certified as an instructor in ABC, or how we could do a seminar series. I actually didn't really note what the different ideas were, but if there's 2 or 3 that you wanted to explore, you could actually do projects on that. And then number 1, advance the dialogue. Number 2, kind of figure out how hackathons, where the best fit is in terms of how you like to do them, how you like to participate on them, and then possibly stage a larger one later in the year. If Jonathan doesn't get on, I should say that he's got a really interesting thing going with American Law Institute or law librarians. Lloyd has more of the details on it, but they've got a big annual conference coming up, and they've asked us to help produce a hackathon for it. So the thinking that I think he wanted to propose was maybe to do 1 or 2 small, low-key, like no-risk things internally with your group, and then if you like it and if it seems like you wanted to go for it, I think Jonathan was going to propose getting on the calendar, I don't know, I think it's like 9 months from now or so, maybe doing something jointly with the law library group, and being able to then also kind of ride on their resources a little bit and maybe help find where the problem space is for teams that the types of themes that they want, where there's overlap with what your membership wants, could be a very powerful connection. So that's just at a high level, a little bit more context on pretty neutral software at MIT that we use for hackathons. And if you think you want to try it and you brainstorm a little more about what you want to do or projects you'd enjoy doing, or that your students or other faculty might enjoy getting involved with, happy to brainstorm, and we've got some volunteers here at the Media Lab that are interested in this, and who would be willing to monkey around a little bit to configure something for your use in GitHub and open source naturally, so you can kind of take it and fork it if you like it, or the fact that it's open is why we can do this, I should say. So look, we've got a culture of open source and open standards in the part of MIT where I am, and one of the great things about that is it means that we can do projects without a contract or without anybody paying us necessarily, or being part of like a grant code or whatever, a particular initiative, and it being an open source thing is important to us. And so it's not a great fit if you want to commercialize the software part or that, but it's a terrific fit if you want to have more of an open, collaborative community around hacking at the how you do the online hackathon. And then if you really liked it, you could fork it and have a CALI branch that's really especially suited to you people, and then maybe like MIT's branch will go a slightly different direction. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling now because the discussion was really good, and maybe John, you could just indicate when it would be good for me to jump in, but I think the more discussion you have in the room, the better, and if people want to do something, I'm sure we could be flexible and work with that.
Cool. Well, that's what I think it will take, is we'll follow up with you, Jazz and Jonathan after this. I thought we would collect a few more comments in this and then wrap this up so that we can get off to the final plan. Tim?
I always look at hackathons as the primary purpose to find people to hire. That's just from a business perspective, not necessarily what gets done. I think that the main value for CALI and legal education would really be the social connections made with the programs. I don't really expect much of anything of really productive code to get done, but the discussions might be good, and they might make some connections, and then they can help each other as they sort of go forward.
But the second hackathon is a way to think about problem spaces rather than actual work.
Yeah.
That made me feel better, because I don't want to do any work.
Well, and then it won't run, and then they're going to be angry at Elmer. The other thing is, everybody thinks hackathon. They keep focusing on the engineers and the programmers and the purple hair and some stuff. My take is if you moved it to, here are the problems that we face. Like right now, we have discussions and sessions. But if you went out and said, what are the problems we have? We have the library hackathon size problems. Library catalog merger type thing, moving systems. So we have this. There's all different types here. It doesn't have to just be pure programming. A better way to write statutes. That might be interesting and allow more different types of participation, so that everyone can sort of be involved with it, not just the programs.
Yeah, and maybe you could do some of this pre-conference so that by the time everyone arrives, a lot of the dusty work has been sort of like cleared away.
You have different Slack channels in each one.
Oh, there we go, Michael.
So at UMKC, we hosted the National Day of Civic Hacking on June 6th and 7th. And what was great about it was we partnered with the Code for America Brigade, but most of the things weren't really hacked. They were really discussed. And actually, we had probably the best, I would say the winner of the event, even though it wasn't really that kind of competition or hackathon, was really just a balsamic rendering of what could be done. And everybody who participated, I mean, the law students that participated, I've never seen such engagement. But I think we have enough issues in common, problems, the things that we want to accomplish, that you can do pre-conferences, come up with a list of potential projects that are joint efforts by different schools, and then bring together all different kinds of things to talk about them, and come up with at least a beginning point, and then that's the next time.
Okay. Matt, and then Jennifer, and then back to
Just to build on what Tim was saying, I mean, I agree that the best part about something like this is the social interactions. And I mean, I imagine that there's a number of people at this conference who have a loose grasp of technology and have some problems that they think technology might be able to solve, but don't have the technical expertise to understand how it could be implemented or whether it could be implemented. And it's helpful to have technologists and non-technology people who have real problems interacting to build out of that. But I also think that you could have one or two projects that maybe you have a really good proof of concept, you do actually have working code that can be a springboard to a real project that gets implemented somewhere down the road. I mean, I've been to, I don't know that I've ever been to a hackathon where you actually had a finished product at the end.
you get a demo out.
But you get a demo or you get some kind of loose proof of concept that turns into a really good idea at some point down the road.
So we actually did the downloadable hackathon last year, which was John and Elmer were there, and we didn't have many programmers that are infected. One, not necessarily, but
was a judge.
yes. But it was really about sitting down and talking about problems. We were focused on government information and really talking through about what could be done to make it more accessible. And we actually had some great ideas. We had 4 teams working on how to bring all the CFRs together and for the states and not the federal regulations, but all of the state codes and make them more accessible. And one group actually came up with working code to make the South Carolina Supreme Court opinions actually accessible because their search mechanism was horrible. So it was more about working together collaboratively to come up to solve problems. And we had a lot come out of one day of work. And we had the GPO watch us, and they were very intrigued and very interested in fact Mary Alice is going to come back and look at us again. And
Mary Alice
so, yes, Mary Alice Daish. So there's a lot that can be done. And I think getting the technology community involved in hackathons is even more interesting because there's a lot out there that we can do as well. So whether it's partnering with the full collaborative community or just this group, there's a lot that can be done.
This isn't exactly a hackathon. Maybe you're already doing this, but how about an ATJ have a meeting of people using A2J author for the specific or 2 or 3 specific projects?
Or CALI Author-a-thon.
CALI Author.
Sure, hack a book.
Or an Elaine Dell-a-thon. All right, the a-thon thing doesn't work too long. All right. So what I'm not hearing is, oh my God, this is a bad fit, or I know we're all too nice to say what we really think about hackathons. No. It's not an exact question. It's not going to be. It's not. So it's something that I thought, and I'll get back to you. So what I'm saying is, yeah, we'll follow up on this idea for next year. That's it's worthy of exploration, and there's enough interest in the random small sample community I've got in front of me right now. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I didn't raise my hand when you asked for full-time programmers because I still do help desk and more educational technology stuff, but I'm like 75% a programmer, and more importantly, my background and the way that I think and whatever is programming. So I actually think that you even could do, I don't know about the supply.
Oh, no, you don't need 100% programmers to be doing that.
Yeah. After programming. No, but I think depending on, I know that there are things like I was looking for seating chart solutions, and I found that there are either things that aren't applicable to law school or things that cost $200 grand. and there isn't, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, an open source seating chart solution. That's not very. That's not. But seating charts aren't very sexy. But what is sexy to me is that I currently have people in faculty support who are pasting together seating charts instead of doing things that would actually help their faculty or students. So I'm wondering if there are needs like that that is a purely code thing that might be particular to law schools, and making something open source that then community members can share.
Great idea. There might be product out there that does the job, but it costs too much or it has a missing feature or something like that. And hackathons would be the opportunity to explore creating a disruptive, free version that the community could develop, for our particular needs. Well, great. Well, I wanted to wrap this up before 1 o'clock because it's not time to walk over to 165. Thanks,
John. I'm sorry, John.
Go ahead, John.
Jonathan Askin's actually on the line. Maybe he could say a few words quickly.
Hi, folks. I don't want to keep anyone, and I'm hearing a lot of reverberation over here. Let me just say that I think it's actually quite a simple process if over the next couple of months we treat the CALI Hackathon like a virtual iterative process. We populate a site with some ideas that make sense to use CALI as a vehicle to hack solutions in legal education, and then we branch it and come a year from now.
We're losing you, Jonathan.
Can you hear me?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of central Jersey somewhere with a weak signal. In any case,
Yeah, we think we got the gist of what you were saying, that we would populate a website with ideas over the next several months as a precursor to what would happen at the actual conference. Sound reasonable?
Exactly right.
Great. Terrific.
Thanks, both of you, for participating. Appreciate it, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. That was fun. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
We'll send you email, John.
Yeah.
Is the email right?
I know, he's telling me about it. As this dog. Small world. Yeah.
His daughter on the last weekend during this.
Oh, yeah.
Session.
Right.
And realized that she was his daughter. I also was saying his.
Oh, my.
All right, got to get this offline here. Darcy, you're still there.
Thanks.
We're,
no, that's fine. I would just,
here.
I always am the last person to leave a session.
So, thank you for, energizing this final shot here. I think we got, I think we planted the seed, and I can't see that there's anything wrong with doing that.
No, seeds are good. Could you please thank Sally?
I'm not hearing you at all.
Okay. I was just saying, can you thank Sally? I am.
I just see your.
How about now?
Yeah, there's no voice coming in.
Nothing. How about now?
I don't think I got muted.
Better?
Yeah, no.
Better? Better now?
Oh my God.
Yeah, just no.
I was just saying, could you thank Sally, please?
Can't hear anything from you yet.
No? How about now?
I don't know.
Better?
Not a word from, no sound from you.
Is that good?
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know what's going on with the sound there. It's just not coming in from your end. We haven't adjusted anything on this side. Everything should be
How about now? Better?
Yeah.
Anything?
It's,
Yeah?
so, yeah.
How about, can you call me on the phone?
Okay. I'll get the cell phone.
Thanks.
All right, take care.
Thank
So
you.
I'm headed to the plenary, and I guess I'll see you back at the ranch.
Yes, yes.
Are you on vacation in July?
Yeah, I am a little bit. Let's talk. I'm still on with Daza here.
Oh,
Bye. Bye,
all right,
Harold.
I'll touch base with you.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, man. Great. Thank you for all your help. Let's see. Daza, here we go.